Good morning, hello, it's Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Today I've come down to see George Fox from George Fox Cycling Solutions. George, I'm here for a bike fit.
Yeah.
You're a bike fitter, you're a coach. You're actually my cycling coach, which we're doing a separate video about, I think. But today I brought you down my race bike. I'm going to be riding at Ironman UK and Ironman Wales this year. We're going to go through a full fit. I'm going to talk you through the problems I've got with it, and hopefully we're going to find some free speed because I need it.
Always. Okay. Not a problem at all.
Should we get stuck in?
Let's do it.
Cool.
Okay, so if you talk me through any problems that you've had health-wise and sort of physical body-wise this year, injury-wise.
How long is this video going to be?
We're all the same. So yeah, injuries, obviously specifically, we know there's a problem there. So just talk me through the injury you've had, how it's impacted you running and riding, and then if you've had any specific problems on this bike as well.
So my only recent injury has been a knee pain I've had. I've not had it for months now. I've resolved, I think, by me having a higher saddle and shorter cranks. Which one of those fixed it, I don't know. But I do find every time I ride a bike that's got a lower saddle, my knee pain will flare up again. It's not been impacted by volume or intensity or anything like that in this current setup. This bike is pretty much as I got it. So I just set the saddle height correctly, or versus my other bikes. Put a saddle on it, and I've just ridden it, and I've not had any problems. If anything, the position feels quite relaxed, and I've been able to sustain it for longer than I would do normally. So no problems really, other than I'm just worried about my knee if I'm to change something. That's my only real concern. Other than that, pretty much all good.
Okay, and so this bike, just give me a brief history of the bike, how long you've had it, and what you've used it for so far.
It's been pieced together since the beginning of this year. I've ridden it maybe 7 or 8 times. Used it at Outlaw Half Nottingham. Trained on it a few times. I'm riding it roughly once a week, and it's got small gearing on. It's my hilly time trial triathlon bike, so this is the one I'm going to be riding the most this year. And I find it rides very similar to my ultimate road bike. Whether it's just the same brand or same geometry or whatever. So I like riding it. It feels like I'm riding my road bike.
Perfect. So obviously gearing and setup on this, we know the 2 target races are obviously hilly. So there's going to be an awful lot of imposition and setup as well. So whatever we do today, we need to be considerate of that and make sure that it's specific to the race you're doing, because it's really easy to set up an out time trial position, but ultimately you're only going to spend half your time in it, and that's probably not going to be comfortable when you're moving around anyway.
I'm constantly torn by that, because I think, well, on a hilly event, I'm in time trial position for less time, so it could be more aggressive. I'm not going to hold it, but you know, welcome your thoughts. I just do know that I rode this as it is at Outlaw Half Nottingham. I did more power than I've done before, and I was slower. There's other things going off in my body composition and so on, but I know there's probably something I'm leaving on the table there.
Next, we will have a little look at your shoes. Just make sure we're happy, kind of nothing's falling apart, and check the insoles as well. So obviously key position, we'll check this when you're on the bike more specifically. All we're looking at is making sure that these aren't falling apart, so that we're not any unnecessary movement from the cleats. And obviously we know we've got custom insoles in these as well, so we're just going to take them out, have a quick look, make sure we're happy. So there's nothing on this that shows like an uneven sign of wear, and that's the most important thing. So when you take an insole out of a shoe, if you can see like a massive toe imprint and your foot's worn away one area. I've taken insoles out in the past and seen literally holes from people's toes, and most people never take them out, right? Unless you're a bike fitter, how would you know? So yeah, that's absolutely fine. And
I think they're like the best upgrade you can get for cycling, but you just never think of them because they're in a shoe.
And they're not shiny and they're not carbon, right? And so you never see it, so people don't see the value in it.
I think those are carbon actually, but
the good ones are. But they're still not shiny, and then you can't attach them to your bike, so that's why people don't buy them. Perfect. Right, let's get helmet on to start with as well. We'll get full photos, make sure we've got a record of where you're at to start with, and then we'll go from there. You know what, you look like a bike racer. You really do.
When I got on it, I thought this isn't bad just out of the box. I'd say it's somebody else's bike fit.
It's not bad. If this is your foot, ankle and toes, and this is your calf, all we're looking for on a pedal stroke is your calf to stabilise the foot and keep it in a strong, stable platform as it goes around. The angle of your foot, completely inconsequential. Basically makes no difference as long as the calf is doing one job, which is to hold it at whatever angle it wants to be at. Where the issues come in is where you come around to 5 o'clock on the pedal stroke and then your toes drop through. So 2 things can cause that: cleat position or saddle height. So if it's saddle height, you're too high, and basically knees reach full extension, and then you're asking your toes to now basically do that last little bit. The issue with that is toes now, so the weakest part of the leg, are now pedaling the weakest part of the pedal stroke. That's a massive loss of
when you've
efficiency.
got that, yeah.
Exactly, but it's not just that though. Effectively, you're doing a calf raise.
Good for definition, but not good for
85 calf raises a minute.
Yeah.
An Ironman.
Yeah.
It's many tens of thousands.
It's a long walk.
It's a lot. It's like 16,000. Like I think roughly 16,000 like calf raises. Yeah, and then you're going to go and try and run a marathon. It's the quickest way to a calf or Achilles injury, basically. That's where it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So as long as it's in one platform, it doesn't matter what angle it is, basically. Old school cyclists will say flat-footed. You have to pedal flat-footed. Part of the reason for that is they always used to pedal with toe clips, so they were basically toes in. So to bring their toes down, they drove the heel through the pedal stroke. It's obviously kind of going back a long way. We pedal differently now.
Yeah.
Some of the best cyclists in the world, Peter Sagan, Alaphilippe, Evenepoel, right, as a selection, all pedal toe down.
Yeah.
Well, they're not bad, are they?
No, they'll get up by all right.
Exactly. So that's the most important thing. Bring it around to the bottom, but hold it as if you were still pedaling.
Yeah.
So imagine I was taking a photo of you, basically. I've done this a million times, so you know what you're doing. Good, just come forward to touch. Perfect, hold that there. Roughly, depending on what the ankle does, we just need to keep an eye on that, but roughly 3 degrees to gain, which is enough that it would cause issues there for how much you're riding it specifically and how hard you're riding it as well. So yeah, hop off. We'll move that to start with. That could be a whole new YouTube video, couldn't it?
What, rounding someone off?
No. The ratchet of a torque wrench.
Oh,
like freewheels.
Yeah.
That's not very satisfying, actually, is it?
I think I hesitate to go quite as high on the TT bike just to try and reduce some saddle discomfort. I feel like when it's a bit higher, I don't know, sort of more weight on it maybe.
I'll be honest, that doesn't make any sense
just
whatsoever. Well, if you think about it, what we're talking about there is we're compromising your whole position to try and make it so that the saddle's comfortable.
Yeah. This is why you fit bikes for a living and I send emails.
Yeah, we'll do it the other way around, shall we? We'll make sure the saddle is right and the position's right. Yeah, good. Okay, so we're still measuring on the low side, but there is obviously a consideration here. And that consideration effectively is what happens if we carry on going with the knee and does the ankle actually take up that slack? Okay, so I could carry on pushing you to make sure that we get that knee angle, and actually the ankle, because it's a weaker joint, will take up that slack. Two options with that. Number one, you adapt to it and the knee then does stretch over time and it ends up being slightly higher. Two, you basically always end up using your ankle, which we don't want. So we're going to push this a tiny bit more because it has made an impact. So we're very close to where we want to be.
It's still 5 mil lower than my road bike, so.
Well, exactly, yeah. So we know like there's definitely, and obviously the angle, the C2 angle and stuff is going to be totally different as well, but that's fine.
I sort of don't want to be able to adapt to something different. I feel like I just want to ride my bike and just.
Exactly. And I think that's why you've done the right thing with this, and that's what I was saying about being specific with this bike and the position that you're trying to achieve on it for the race that you're doing. There's no point, for example, in you having a bike like I know we said about taking that spacer out. Number one, it makes it ugly, but number two, your base bar's then lower. Well, you're going to spend a lot of time on this base bar for a reason, and it's because you're either out of the saddle, so you don't want it to be slammed, or you're going to be sat upright, and you're sat upright because it's hard. So you don't want it to be slammed. Height-wise, I'm happy. We need to make sure fore and aft is fine as well. So we're going to have a little look at where the knee is over the axle. We know that on a time trial bike we're going to be further forwards, and a lot of that is rotating you around the bottom bracket. Obviously aerodynamically it helps because it means you can get into that position, you're not so far back. We know there's a compromise, obviously, when you have a slacker C2 angle effectively, there's a compromise in terms of how you can hold a position at the front, which also means compromise on how you pedal it, which generally is a problem because it's a bike fit and you need to pedal a bike. So carry on pedaling for me to start with. Okay, so saddle fore and aft, there's loads of ways of there's loads of approaches, right? And every bike fitter, every kind of type of cycle sport will do it differently. We're looking at multiple things. Number one, comfort on the saddle. Number two, power and efficiency. And then number three, ultimately we need to make sure that you are in a sustainable position, okay? There's obviously in triathlon and time trial, there's a massive trend of just basically slamming the saddle forwards. What you risk by doing that effectively is a thing called quad bracing, which a lot of people have never really looked into. If you come too far forwards, then basically you're now pushing down, and as you're pushing down, you're also having to tense the rest of your quads that you would use for running and not really use for cycling to stop yourself from moving around even more. So when you're too far forward, it's almost like you're having to tense all of these muscles around actually using them, and you just basically get excess fatigue and unnecessary fatigue. So we want you to be able to actually sit on the saddle. So when people feel that, if you feel like you're sat on a saddle and you can feel it, you know you're there, you're sat on a bike obviously, but you don't actually feel like you're planted on it, you can't actually relax onto it, right? So we want you to be able to relax onto the saddle, and unfortunately the way we do that is by getting it far enough back, right? So we can actually get it far enough back so that when you're pushing down, you're then pulling through the bottom of the stroke. Okay, when you're too far forwards, you push down, and it's then almost like your quads are pushing all the way through until the hamstrings then take over on the back part of the stroke, rather than the hamstring pulling through the bottom. Okay, so that's the trade-off, and that's what we're looking for. If we took a circle, we're basically trying to get you to engage at 2 o'clock, peak power phase, exit that at roughly 5 o'clock, at which point the hamstrings then take over and pull through. If the hamstrings aren't pulling through and we've rotated you even further around, all that happens is that circle just does this. So now your quads are working all the way through the bottom of the stroke, and it's almost then like you are literally pushing backwards. And the problem with that is to do that, like naturally, if I said to you, right, push backwards on your pedal stroke, you don't do that. You naturally push your toes down and think, right, I'm gonna push my toes down. So the issue of that, again, is toes, right? Which then is calf, which then ruins everything. So it ruins this, and then it risks injury and ruins your run. So yeah, like this is obviously, it's set up quite neutral, to be totally honest. Like you're not, because you on this clamp, you could obviously flip that and come further forwards.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously this the front one's set further forwards, but you've got room to slide that as well. So you've got loads of movement on this. Would be just doing the wrong thing. So we're not going to do it. So yeah, happy with this. My only recommendation would be at some point that, because it's not going to make a difference to the fit, because we want most of your weight here. But it's more just actually there's probably some comfort you're losing out by that being
got it,
just a little bit soft. So jump back on for me, and we'll have a little look at the front end. So now instantly the helmet's sitting better, but your head's nowhere near where it should be. Okay, so look, just forget about the fact the helmet's on. Look straight at the floor. Push your face down as far as you can. Ignore the push. That's it. There you go. Perfect. Now rotate your head up until you're looking just over the top of your thumbs. Yeah. So it's not bad. Carry on pedaling as well. Change your back shape. We're not doing this for Instagram. We're doing it for a bike. It's not bad. Like they've got the shape right. You know that cutout bit that it's got like 3/4 of the way back. The cutout is nearly in the right place. It's that though.
I need to put one of the bits of foam in there.
Yeah, possibly.
So bike fit done and dusted. George, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
In summary, it was a lot of small changes, wasn't it? But small changes have big impacts, as we know. But are you happy? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest things, like we said, we work backwards from the race and we say, okay, what is it we're trying to achieve? What do we need for that? And then for you, it's a case of refining, right? It's not your first time trial bike, it's not your first race. So you know what you're doing, you know what it feels like. So for me, it's then a case of saying, okay, what do we need to refine? What do we need to make small changes to make it specific to that race? So it's almost like we're setting you up not just as a bog standard sort of triathlete today. We're saying, actually, you are Dan. We've got this race we need to be ready for. Let's make this specific to that. And specificity is going to be the answer, basically.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd like people to take away from this video. It might be a long video about my individual bike fit, but if you take away from that, don't be swayed by somebody you see on the internet, what they're wearing, how their position is set up or whatever else. Think about the event you're doing, the bike you've got, you as an athlete, and work backwards from there and get it right for you, because what's right for me will probably not be right for you. But George, appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Cheers.